Anyways, I feel some type of ways about Drake's chart. Compared to Kendrick, it's not a winning. It's not a winning chart, eh? And the only reason I felt compelled to make this video today is because although I've tracked Drake, I've been tracking Drake's chart for a minute, and I'm the one who reached out to his manager a year ago to tell him that transit Pluto was about to square his natal sun and the south node, and that it didn't look good. It didn't. I said it was terrible. This is terrible. This is not good. Anyways, and have a pretty good history and a pretty good grasp of how Uranus has been behaving in his chart. Uranus, transit Uranus was ingressing into just when he ingressed into Taurus, he had the beef with Mill Mick. It was exact, and then when they opposed his sun, so at 33 minutes, so right after, as soon as it got to 33 minutes, the beef with Pusha T. So I've been paying attention to now this transit Uranus that's conjunct his MC, his angle. I was expecting something on May 16th when it was exact. Nothing happened. But at the same time, now the same transit Uranus is at 26 degrees. His MC is at 2305, right? And a lot of the other times, both other times, it was the event took place when it went exact. When it went exact, when they exactly crossed this house, and then when they exactly opposed this natal sun, right? And Taurus for Drake is his visibility, his house of career, that's his MC, it's his, you know. So since 2015, there's been a lot of turbulences and unexpected events in that house, but never more so when Uranus made direct contact with those planets and those angles, right? Or those the cusp when it enters a new house. Anyways, so on July 15, we just had the new moon in Cancer. I think that was on his natal moon as well. So his natal moon is in the 12th house. So behind the scenes, I didn't really pay attention to that. I haven't really been paying attention to this. So the transit Uranus on July 15, transit Mars is gonna come across, cause right, yeah, and that's on his angle, that's on his MC, and you know Mars don't give two fucks. Mars is here to start shit, right? So I wonder what is of unexpected nature that's gonna come and reignite something. You know, actually, you know, I've seen Uranus and Mars in action, but when they come in a square, that's dynamic, right? But if I have to see, where is this, does he have Uranus Mars contact? His Mars is at 8, his Uranus is at 19. It's a sextile. Yeah. And it's white degree. So I'm very fascinated to see, but the ruler of that conjunction is also Venus, and Venus would just have ingress into his into his first house in his rising. It's not on his angle yet, so I'm fascinated to see. Um, it's almost like he's putting something out himself, unexpected thing, maybe a bit left field, and it's gonna have an amazing reception because that's Venus in his first house. That means the girls are gonna see, the girls are gonna receive it pretty well. But the whole thing about this about this bead for this Chiron return to me is that there's still 2 more installments. Okay, so this is about a year and a half battle, right? Kendrick won. He won the biggest part. He's been able to shift the culture, to have people pay attention to lyricism again, and social consciousness, and the way we are, and what Drake's been putting out, what we've been feeling of Drake, what we've been accepting, and how other a huge highlight on what is wrong with the hip hop community, right? But in the meantime, while Drake is deconstructing, okay, because there is whatever he did before, like I said to you, buddy, how you identify previously no longer serve the collective. While he is deconstructing, he is also finding his new lane, and that's going to be in front of our eyes. And he's going to, he's not going to disappear. He's still an artist. That's going to have to find himself. Or no, he doesn't have to, but perhaps will be finding himself in front of our eyes, But yeah, this one, it actually looks like a good omen. I actually like that. In the grand picture of everything else that's going on in this chart, because that square Pluto is just asking you to transform. You don't have a choice, and I told you this before. And this whole shit happened it's just not, let it go. And just accept. And, but be a bit more serious than your walk on Delilah, and it's not gonna cut it this time, and you know it. I think that you're gonna surprise us. I think that you're gonna surprise us. What does Mars rule? Mars is the ruler of your sun, because you're Scorpio, so Scorpio rules Mars rules Scorpio, so that's the ruler of your sun. And Venus is in the house of your sun. Your identity, very solar. And Uranus on your, oh, is that a retro reception? No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's funny because this transit Mars right now is opposite your natal Venus. Oh, it's already opposed a few days ago. Isn't that the day of the 4th of July? I haven't been paying attention to his chart. July 4th. Oh, yeah, there was a pushback. Public didn't like that, eh? Oh, yeah. I think that's the talk of transit Mars opposing his natal Venus. Mars was fighting you, right? It was on your career, right? And it's exact on that day. That's what they were saying, that you looked worn out. You did, buddy. You look worn out, and you still can't find a stylist. Yeah, what is this? And transit, transit Jupiter opposing your natal Saturn, eh? Oh, that happened already. That's past. But then Jupiter is gonna go retrograde, but it's not gonna go at 7 degree. But we'll see. That energy is definitely there because you know, transit Saturn is also opposing exact your natal Jupiter. So whatever expansion you think you wanna have, Saturn's gonna cock block you this whole year. You know, there's no expansion. Saturn loves to pump brakes. Nah, you are transforming. This is what you're doing. You get to transform. You need to. That's what you're here to do. You know, I think there's also might be forming a more serious relationship with someone, with a female, or take your relationship with female a lot more seriously. That transit Saturn trying your natal Venus. Absolutely. What do you value? What do you value? What do you need in relationship, in serious relationship with other people? And ready to put in the work in a serious relationship. How do I know that? Because I have transit Saturn sextiling my own Venus right now. So I've been paying attention to that. And it tends to make us demand a lot more. You know, you want commitment. And this is when you want commitment from people. You know, you realize that you bring a lot more to the table. You require a lot more. You know, you bring a lot as a friend. You bring a lot to your relationships. And quite frankly, you know, you could also be doing something else. Like you could be nurturing your hobby. So to agree to go into a relationship with people at this stage is an investment. It's an investment of time. You know, it's not as casual. I think now this is interesting because. The topic of you not having true relationship has come up, right? And with everything, with things going on in your life currently, I think you realize that. And it's making you a lot more selective, especially with that Saturn going retrograde in your 8th house of partnership of other people who you merge with. You know, there's a lot of merging, and I think you know, no matter what, I think that those words have landed. They have landed, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I think it's a maturing time. It's a transformative time. You know what's fascinating to me is that also that transit north, or squaring your natal moon. So however you used to nurture before, you know, if the bad guys and those guys around you were a source of comfort, and especially with a moon in the 12th house, you know, of shady activity behind it, it no longer serves the collective. You're gonna have to find new ways of taking care of your emotional needs. Yeah, the fact that was exact, and maybe requiring a lot more from a relationship. So what you were getting from those guys, from those boys now, you know, by keeping them around, if that was your way of taking care of yourself, of nurturing yourself, if you had an emotional need to have all those people around, well, that is being transformed. So is your personal. And with the transit Venus, as the transit Saturn trine your natal Venus, gonna make you want to work on something a lot more solid from a female relationship point of view. You know. You know what else? That transit Saturn square your natal Uranus. transit Saturn squaring your natal Uranus. You know, I think that your natal Uranus is, and especially in Sagittarius, you know, you love to bust out in those accents, in those foreign accents, those weird foreign accents, Sagittarius. And transit Saturn is like, no, the authority is like, no, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop this. The collective is saying that you gotta grow out of this. So there's a lot of friction between your individuality, who you are, and the collective maturity. That's interesting because that's gonna get transformed too, especially when there's a square. So I think those accents and yeah, you were just being a goofball. Like, I think that's that Uranian in you, but that's it. It's that Uranus. I want to know if that Uranus is part of your structural make. No, no. And the fact that that Uranus squares your natal Jupiter, the ruler, its own ruler, is where, yeah, you and those foreign languages, those foreign accents, leave them alone. Leave them alone. No, I mean, where's that Uranus in the fifth house? You know, whenever I saw that fifth house with that Uranian, unusual children, you know, an unusual pattern with children and creativity, maybe an unusual creator, yeah, but with foreign people. Yeah, the one who stole the genius, you know. I wonder if that means the one who stole the genius from foreign people to appropriate it. If that's just one way of looking at it. Yeah. So yeah, so I think that yeah, I think that during this time, I don't think that you should disappear. I think that you should, it's just your image is about to revamp, and the quality maybe of the words that you're gonna let out is gonna transform and it's gonna mature, because it's also your Venus. Your Venus is also, I've always thought that your Venus was pertaining to your penmanship. So maybe, you know, the content, the lyrical content might mature. You know, you might give us different layers in different relationships. That's a possibility. It's a Venus in the fourth house, right? You might move in with someone, or yeah, you might move in with someone, or someone might move in with you. Anyways, there's a topic of female relationship. Venus also rules your 10th house of career. And she's in the 4th house. Wow. Yeah, your dad was also a musician, right? In the 4th house. The topic of family definitely comes as family business, inheritance. Not inheritance, but something that was passed on to you, right? In the public, in at home. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a trine, it's receiving a trine from the 8th house of other people's money, of joint venture, of deep bonding, you know. So the people that you interact with, the female that you interact with, your home structure, you're gonna be a lot more selective who you let in, into that private area of yourself now. I think that you're ready to spend a lot more time there, and maybe that's why that transit north squaring your natal moon, because now you're ready to use that as your way of nurturing yourself a lot more, right? Yeah. But yeah, so transit Mars, but our goal is also there. um, Argo and Medusa legend, the legend of Medusa, the one that got her head slit, you know, Medusa with 1,000 snakes. You know, Argo got such a bad reputation. And there might be an uproar, you know. I mean, Argo loves to bring the bullshit. You know, it loves to, yeah, it loves to rise people up, you know, like the events, right? So despite the fact that the conjunction is at 26 degrees and your MC is at 23, I'm still wondering if it's not going to impact. It's very close, but from what I know of your chart, is every time Uranus had a big impact is when it was exact to the minute. But last time it was exact to the minute. On May 16, nothing happened. So that cannot stop me from keeping an eye out and keep observing the phenomena that are going through this chart. I mean, overall, it's Kendrick's chart. Kendrick, the only thing I'm worried about Kendrick is because Mars is in Taurus right now. When Mars is gonna go into his Jupiter house, I wonder how that's gonna play out. Because, I mean, you know, transit Mars love to start shit, you know. So it might kickstart, because Jupiter is gonna be in that house for 12 months, right? So you can expect Kendrick to blossom the next 12 months, you know, to really take this song and take it on the road. The astrology of those songs, I'm gonna try to release it. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, this is the moment. This came straight from the gods. They don't want you around no more, Drake. The gods. That was the play. Like, if I can say I've seen the play before, that was the play. Every single, you couldn't make this shit up. It was too precise. You know, every single thing that Drake said came back and hunted him. Like, you can't, and the astrology of the moment is just so precise. I don't know where the fuck he thought that this, but at the same time I feel bad for everyone whose egos are involved in this story, because this story is not true. It's a story that your ego is telling yourself. It's just what is going on. It's just a bunch of energy moving, and it's, I am not this mind, I am not this body. I am not this mind, I am not even this body. It's just a bunch of energy. It is not your doing. Detach yourself from believing that that is why you get hurt. But this is philosophy for a whole other day. Non-duality. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna try to edit. I'm gonna go to the gym. And yeah, what should Drake do? He's gonna grow up in front of our eyes. The thing is, you know, by the time this thing is done, you know, nobody's gonna wait around and wait for this thing to be on. Life's gonna carry on. Things are gonna happen. We're gonna flow, right? And by the time, this is just another experience. This is just another cycle. This is just the onset of a new cycle. By the time we find the tides have finally turned, you know, Drake might be a dad of, might have new children, might have new priorities. This might be so behind him. So don't worry about what you should do next. Life is going to take its course, as it always does. Right? And everything's going to be fine. So stop panicking. The limited human brain with its human understanding wants to give this thing meaning. Leave it alone and just observe. And wish everyone the best. And everyone peace. And send everyone love. I hope you guys have cleaned your chakras. I hope you guys have cleaned your auras. I hope you guys have spent some time inwards. The stargazers, the tweeters and deleters. I hope you guys are grounded in your spiritual practices, and you know not to believe in anything that is going on outside. It is none of your making, and it's a lot bigger than what we can perceive or imagine. And it's restful. Thank you.